So we're back after a week of hiatus. It feels like it's been longer than a week, to be totally honest. Just because there's a lot that happened.
Time moves differently now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How was the? Did you go camping over the weekend?
I did. I backpacked in the High Sierras. It was truly stellar.
I've heard incredible things about that experience.
Yeah, I've never seen quite such excellent nature. Also, it was 3 days and a 20-mile hike, but it was like the hardest 20 miles I've ever done.
Yeah.
So I learned something about going to this place, which is it's harder than I expected.
My brother was into doing this kind of hike, like multi-day, like
hmm
it's like the most pain you've ever felt walking in your entire life, kind of thing.
I've done this. This is maybe like the fourth or fifth one of these I've done, and part of the secret is you buy shoes, and you buy a better backpack, and you kind of invest. It turns out it's a lot like streaming, where I have maybe $1,000 of very specific, like a light sleeping bag and a light like inflatable mattress,
Yeah.
to make it not a hellish experience. So it's another one of those expensive hobbies.
Right. I mean, I've heard with outdoor stuff in particular, like there is like a remarkable material difference between the good stuff and the not good stuff. Right.
So much. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, for me, speaking of gear and everything like that, um, well, aside from all the kind of like random family near emergency stuff that has been going on over the week,
Yeah.
I did set up my home office finally, or at least I would say 90% of it. So I'm sitting at an actual desk now with an actual
Whoa.
webcam and with an actual keyboard. So it's great. It's all coming together.
The Razer Kia is kind of nice, right? I think I look really good on my work webcam calls now. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and really the point is to dunk on your colleagues, right? And dunk on them
Absolutely.
indirectly through the fidelity of your webcam.
Yeah, I want them to see me on Zoom and to be like, wow, how does he look so good?
Exactly. It's a very like American Psycho situation where nothing is stated. Nothing's stated out loud, but like in the back of people's minds, people are like, God, what is that? What is the aperture on that camera? Like, what has he got there?
Oh man, don't even start. I've been trying to figure out how to get depth of field on this camera, and you can't. And I need to buy like the next step is to get a DSLR and use that as your webcam,
Yeah.
which I'm not about to do. It's
Well,
too
I
much
don't know
bullshit.
if it takes off. I don't know. Like maybe are you monitoring the chat right now? Maybe there's like 50,000 people in our chat right now, just like
There's
bursting.
there's not, but
Okay.
there could be, and I do have the chat up. Yeah,
It's not Beatlemania right now. Are you kidding?
I've got bad news. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll get there. But
Oh, yeah.
you had mentioned that there was the iPhone option as well, right?
Oh yeah, I haven't tried that yet. It requires installing some like fairly invasive software that I'm not going to put on my work computer, but
Yeah.
would use for personal.
Well, what it is like they have an app on the phone, right? That is
Mhm.
essentially just like an always-on camera app, and it
Mhm.
just streams data to. Does it go device to device, or does it go through their server?
They do it through USB, which is nice, but you are installing like something on your computer that is acting as like a virtual video source. So phone to computer is wired.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, man. Like, who knows what people collect with analytics? I don't trust anyone anymore.
Right. Right. Except those audio hijack guys. They can take all of our secrets.
I actually do really trust them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take the secrets, please.
Yeah. So we were remarking that a lot of time has gone by, but not enough that I've forgotten our cool thing that we created last time, which is our pathfinding algorithm,
Oh, it's so
Um,
good.
complete with like great visualizations. Right. This is
I
where,
really love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we didn't quite get to it, but I think the nice thing would be to add the actual path in there as well, so it kind of traces the line. But
Mhm.
as a debugging tool, this is actually remarkably effective in trying to determine whether we sort of tweaked our cost function correctly. Although I think
Yeah,
it was something somewhat interesting.
Yeah.
There are times when I feel like the picking is off. Picking is when you take a screen space coordinate and map it to world space. And
Hmm.
there are times where I feel like I'll click on one tile, but then it actually goes to a different one. But I think it's
Oh,
just
interesting.
purely a figment of my imagination because I'm kind of going in all possible directions here, and it's
Yeah.
good.
You could try to. I mean, you could try to maybe get on the edge of it, where like you feel like you're picking one, but it actually picks the other. Since it's like
here's where it is. I think it's quite ambiguous where it would go now, right? I don't know if you can see that on screen. That's going to be behind your face.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So let me do this one here. You can see that I'm basically at the four corners of different tiles, right? Because the dots are the center of the tile.
Exactly.
And here it's like, okay, which one is picking? It's probably the one that's like slightly closer. And I don't even remember if our cursor's control point is the center or if it's the upper left corner or what. You know?
That one looked quite weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
It for what it's like. If we could probably go to a point if it took the very last step and was like, I'm going to go to the tile coordinate or the actual pixel coordinate you told me to as the final step of the path. But
yeah,
it's tile based.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be cool. It'd be really cool. If there was a tile outline that hovered under the cursor. That's maybe the UI I would expect from this if we're going to go to a tile.
Interesting. Yes.
Especially if we're talking about placing a turret.
I was going to say, would be even cooler is if something happened when the guy got to the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like placing a turret.
Yep.
So why don't we do it?
Let's do it.
Okay. We're going to go to the pilot system. I think that's what it is. Ironically, it's called the pilot system, but like the last thing the guy's going to do when he's running outside of the tank is pilot anything.
Jeff, I'm turning your resolution down a little bit. The audio got choppy for a second there.
Oh, that's no problem.
The video looks great though, so we'll see.
Yeah. No, I was just saying. Ironically, it was ironic that we called this the pilot system because the last thing that the guy could possibly do while he's running around outside the tank is actually pilot the tank.
It's true. It's true.
But he's always yearning for it, right? His thoughts are with home. He's like he's the embodiment of like a bluegrass song. He's thinking about getting back.
Well, if he is the pilot, we always have the interesting question: can the tank drive when he's not in there? I know. Maybe it's a robot tank, but also interesting if the thing stops.
Yeah, I think Bolo calls this guy the builder.
The builder. Okay.
Because I think we erroneously had the theory that the tank would die if the builder got like ran over by a tank.
Mm-hmm.
Which
we managed to kill the builder.
We should be able to kill the builder, but it's actually not true. You just lose your builder for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So we want something to actually happen at the end of this, right? So let's actually just carve out some space for that in the code here. So maybe as a first step, we can actually review what the code actually does, right?
Yeah.
So I believe we've kind of written this very specifically for assuming there's one player and one pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how do we actually prevent multiple pilots from getting created?
Wait, we don't do anything about that right now, do we? You can just toss them all out there.
Yep. Oh yes, you can do multiple. I'm going to say that's fine for now.
It's okay.
Yeah. That's fine for now. What we really want is something to happen when the pilot when each individual pilot kind of gets to the end of its path. So this logic here is really kind of concerned with pilot spawning, right? You might imagine if the rest of this gets quite complicated that maybe this little piece becomes its own system. It's just like the pilot creation system. And then here, this does seem to be like in this for loop here. This is where we actually deal with the pilot's business logic, the individual pilot themselves. The entity that we pick up has to have both a pilot component and a transform component. The pilot component is just specifically dealing with like state for when the pilot's running around. If we basically, when the pilot is spawned, we create a path for that pilot immediately, and then if the path is just like a set of points, if they reach the particular point that they're going to next, we just pull that point out the list, and then the pilot will target the next point, which is how we get these nicely kind of like tile by tile motions here. And then now we have some state management here. If the pilot's state is leaving the host and they've essentially reached the end of their path, then the state's going to become return to host. So we can actually just chuck something in here, like we spawn an entity, something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we're just going to go ahead and create a turret. Eventually, the builder or the pilot's going to be harvesting resources or building walls or building all those different things. And so we'll have to parameterize this somehow. But for now, we'll just create the turret, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Great. Now, we basically can take, how do we place units? Well, we probably want the turret to be tile aligned, because the turret is a wall, and right now all of our wall collision logic assumes tile alignment, I think. Right?
If it doesn't, it should. I think it does.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and maybe figure out how we can tile align the position of the pilot right now. And is it going to be a problem if we spawn a wall right over the pilot?
If it's already done its pathfinding in advance, no, it won't, because it's looking to neighbors. So the current tile that the pilot's on, it will always move out of.
Okay, fantastic. And we pathfind every frame on the way back, right? Because
if the player moves, but even still, yeah. So it won't run back through the wall if you like drive around it.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. So we want to find the center of the tile that we're currently at right now, right? So what we want is, let's say the tile position. Do we have a tile position conversion function?
We've got right here. It's all over this file because I use it a lot.
Okay. And then what we really want is we don't have the reverse of tile chords, right? There's no inverse of that. Probably makes sense to have that.
Yeah. Nice.
Something like that.
That makes sense.
And I'm going to go ahead and tuck this in there.
Yep.
And then we want the center of that, right?
That is that not the center? No, probably not. We probably need to subtract half a tile position or add.
Yeah, it might be add.
Yeah. Should that be part of tile to world essentially? Like, what is the expectation from tile to world?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
Maybe we want. Yeah, is the position of the tile the upper left corner, or is it the center of it?
I think we've done a lot of stuff based on center of tile, so I think this would be a vec2.add. you have a nice new clicky keyboard too? Because that's great.
Yeah, I do. I have
I love it.
a Freestyle Kinesis Freestyle Pro. Cherry MX Brown switches.
That's good stuff.
We're total nerds here. I'm going to start, this may be premature optimization, but it bothers me that we have these vec2.creates, multiple of them.
Agreed. I don't like that this library operates that way, but I know it's because you can do this thing.
It's basically exactly for this type of thing, right? Like
Yeah.
Still getting used to some of these keys. Because I'm just used to the chiclets, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, this library kind of wants you to do something like this, right?
Which, it makes sense. I'm sure some of these operations we do like hundreds of times per frame. That is a nice memory savings.
It is, yeah.
If I was about to like refactor this, that's the first thing I do. So it makes sense. Still the from values, yeah. Oh gosh, maybe like in some future world we have a that tile size over 2 is like a constant vector you import at the same memory address or something, because we do that a lot as well, I think.
Yes, that is exactly right. Although, it's funny, like as we start to kind of like micro optimize this type of thing, I guess it'll matter in JavaScript, but it does kind of tempt like just like rewriting this in rewrite it in Rust, as the saying goes. Right? Just because after a certain point, if you're worried about that sort of thing, then maybe you just want this to be like a contiguous like 120-bit register or something like that, right? Like,
yeah.
So this is really kind of like tile center, tile to world, right? And then how do we actually create new entities? I think it's a make entity, right?
Oh, right. Most things have like their make function. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't we call it make wall, or make turret, right?
Make turret. Yep.
And right now, this is going to be a terrible thing that the pilot does. It'll create an enemy turret, which I think is okay.
Not a very good pilot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I need to refresh my memory on what this actually takes. Why did I do this?
It doesn't even use it.
It doesn't use it. Not anymore, huh? Did we kill this?
That's for the map editor. Okay. But you could pass anything in there.
Okay, we could almost pass nothing, right?
If it was optional, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pass nothing. Well, I don't know. If we import this directly, is TypeScript smart enough to know that it's unused?
That's a great question.
It'll probably complain. Which is fine. But let's actually go ahead and grab, what did I call this? Make turrets? I'm going to test this. Yeah. And then I need to actually register it, right?
Yep. Register? I thought there was a register in there. Yeah. So we have to actually set the transform to tile center.
Okay, so we actually do need a copy of the turret, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think our general creation pattern has been like set it up and then like modify whatever stuff we want to modify like that. Let's see. Yeah, your const on line 52 is going to blow it up. No, other one.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes. And then I actually need to pass something in here. It didn't care. Like it'll still run. Yes.
Well, that's just terrible.
We're gonna have to deal with affiliation this stream, but
I'm not hating this though.
No, it's kind of like, do you want to make your life harder? Just right click. Okay. Let me solve this really quick by. I think what we need is like a complete refactoring of the entity creation system.
Okay.
So, but for the time being, what do I actually need here? I need just dummy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need an array and I need a string, right? And it's called path and fill style.
Path and fill style, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, more than the entity creation, I think if we really this is like the map editor. The map editor should be using the renderables of the object instead of relying on this model passing. Because I think the map editor does some funny stuff with like some of our objects aren't actually like the tank still looks old. The turret still is a triangle. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the data model that we need for the map editor is probably that like the relationship between the map editor and the entity creation system. I guess that's what we're talking about right now. Is kind of really weird, right? Because you kind of want the map editor to be like super generic, almost to the point that like the map editor is where you put components onto things, right? That's how Unity works, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But maybe we don't have to be that generic. It's okay if our game has a very like game aware tool, right? I think that's okay. But maybe inside the map editor itself, you just need a table of that maps models to just really the entity enum value, right? Because right now I think we're kind of like coupling the model to the make turret function should know which model it uses without having to pass it in, right?
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's interesting because make turret knows it. Why did we give that to the map editor?
It's more that there's a table, right? It's more that there is. Where did I put this?
It's like entities index, maybe.
Entity types. That's what it's at.
Ah.
So it's more that like this is sort of a big configuration file.
Gotcha. Yep.
Where it says that a wall has this model. So I mean, the other thing we could do, since this is exported, is just have the make turret function look at this, right?
Have the make turret function look at that.
And just say like, hey, you know what? I don't need to pass this in. I'm gonna import the types. I know that I'm the turret type here, and I'm just gonna grab the path, or I'm gonna grab the model.
I feel like the does the map editor not call make turret? Is that the problem?
Oh, this is funny. This is actually a separate renderable, right?
Yeah. But that's the issue. Is that like the model? It was initially like we have a model, we draw it over here, and we pass it in. But when we added multiple renderables, is where it fell apart for us.
Yeah.
So
we don't even have like a notion of a model in the first place, right? Because the model is like multiple renderables, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do think the map editor should be able to take the dot renderable of whatever it creates and just like slap it on there. So.
Yeah, or something like that, because like the dot renderable is not going to exist directly in
the map because we don't call make turret.
Yeah, because we don't actually make the entity, or we could, that might be, but then like it would be weird because we wouldn't be simulating it. Like, why did we go through all the effort of like building the whole turret if we wouldn't be simulating it in the map editor, right?
Yep, true.
But you know. Who knows? Maybe the map editor will eventually have a game loop, right? Like maybe we want animations in the map editor or something crazy.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Or the game is the map editor. But it kind of it hurts.
As we start placing things, it's going to get closer to that, isn't it?
Yeah. It hurts my head a little bit to think about that, but yeah. Hey, what happened to my thing?
You put it on the turret. You made a turret on the
I made a
turret.
turret on the turret. Oh my god.
No, wait. If you get in the line of fire of the double turret, will they blow each other up? They're confused. They don't know what to do. You could walk right up to that turret.
Oh, you're saying the double turret would kill each other.
No. They're blocked. It can't see past itself.
Oh yes. Oh, that's an interesting tactic, isn't it?
Uh huh.
I'll just stick another turret on you, boy. There you go.
Huh. So if you turn on the debug mode, I guess they're both looking at you, but are shooting a ray to themselves that is 1 pixel wide and you can't see it.
Yeah.
Neat.
Okay. Very cool. We want to make these turrets shoot at each other, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting. We've had this in here for a while. Is that important?
What does it do?
I'm honestly not sure. I forgot.
Well, let's. I bet it does nothing.
Let's see. Oh, level completion.
Basically, if you've killed all your enemies,
Mm-hmm.
then you've completed the level. All right. We might have to make this a little bit more sophisticated, right? Because we want the turret targeting system to do something a little smarter than this, right?
Yeah.
So it's tricky, right? How will you place a friendly turret down? How does it know who to shoot at? Closest?
I think closest, yeah.
Okay.
Which is actually like the system would already do it if potential hits. If we ran this for friendly turrets for everything,
Right.
potential hits would generate the list of things that we could say is the closest thing an enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's done. So should enemy turrets shoot at friendly turrets? So is the change actually that enemy turrets look for the closest thing that's a friendly and shoot at that?
Yes. So if I'm an enemy, then I'm looking for not enemies, and if I'm a not enemy, I'm looking for enemies. Is that basically what we're going for here?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So what if instead where do we iterate? We iterate here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what is this logic about?
If the player is out of range, it stops aiming, which is unfortunate.
Okay.
That's pretty specific, but we
just don't want it to fire if you can't hit your target. Is that correct? Or it stops aiming in general? Because is this an optimization?
I think it is. It's optimization, and it looks good, right? Like the turret stops following you when you're. It doesn't. It stops shooting at you. It is an optimization. Because we could figure that out another way.
Yeah. Because what I was going to say is that, I was going to say that your targets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And then it's really kind of like key.enemy not equals. I need to get myself. So the shooter script is what managed by the shooter system.
Mm-hmm.
I need to pass the affiliation in here.
Is this I kind of hate JavaScript for whenever we do false. Do you want to refactor this into a string at some point?
I'm happy to refactor it right now to a team ID or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like team ID label, something that we can have 3 of if we need it.
Okay.
Also, just working with falsy stuff in JavaScript sucks.
Okay, let me back out of this stuff. I want to back
Okay.
out of all of these changes because I think that change itself is probably one that we should think through entirely first. Make
Okay.
sure all like the win conditions are correct,
Sure,
and
sure.
then we'll go from there. How does that sound?
I think it sounds good. I think it'll be a fast change, so
Okay.
into it.
So what we're really saying is that this is like team string, right?
Mhm.
Or this could even be an enum, but whatever. Let's make it arbitrary right now, right?
We'll start with string, yeah.
And then what if the default team is neutral?
Neutral? Yeah.
This
'Cause we
already
can.
feels like an enum.
Yep.
Um,
Truth.
and then let's just click through. And this is probably something that you want to create the turret with, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we wanted to be, oh, cool, yeah.
And then level completion is not some g.player.team.
Or just e.team equals enemy. Because it's just doing it's checking for the.
I'm just saying, is there anything that's not on the player's team, right?
But that'll include all neutral objects potentially, which would be like walls. I think we need
I see what you're saying.
we need to have an enemy team, yeah.
All right, good call.
It does feel like an enum.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. You already won because we didn't make a turret with a team.
Yeah, you win.
A thing I've never actually seen in Dark Souls. Doesn't happen.
Yeah. I could create a new file.
Okay.
It is going to be called team.ts.
Mhm.
Yes.
Enemy, but yes. Yeah. Is it player or is it friendly? I guess it's the player's team.
Yeah, I'm happy with whatever. I mean, eventually, this is going to be. There's going to be one layer of indirection here, right? Because like if you wanted to do like StarCraft or something,
Mhm.
you might want to have a distinction between
The player and the friendly ally, yeah.
yeah, or if it's PvP, who's to say is the enemy? You know, are we the baddies? I don't really know. It's relativistic, you know.
Okay. Yep. I'm into it.
But for now, I like this, right? Which means that every entity type is going to need to get populated with this, right? And I think that's already the case. Team. All right, let's just tear through it.
God, TypeScript's so great.
Yeah, it's. Why would you go back?
The problem is going forward. Taking a non-TypeScript and going to TypeScript is just such a challenge.
Yeah. Oh, because you're living that reality right now, aren't you?
I am, and it's not the most important thing for me to do, but someday I will just convert everything to TypeScript overnight.
What are we making here?
Oh no. Make always takes the same thing. Damn.
Well, I think we have some notion that maybe we just have a default. What are we doing in these type definitions here? I want to have this optional thing here where it's just like
param other. This is gonna be a TypeScript potential nightmare because now every make function needs to take default team.
Oh, okay.
What if turrets started? This could maybe be our off the stream refactor, but what if turrets started off as enemy, and in our placement we set them as friendly?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because otherwise, I'm afraid we'll spend the whole stream doing this because that's a lot.
Yeah, totally. That makes a lot of sense. I think it's probably maybe not quite that bad, but I do see where you're going.
Yeah. Well, then we should do it after we do this. But yeah. I love the eager win. Mm-hmm.
And then the player is friendly, right? We can create the player.
Yeah.
And where do we do that again?
Should be player indexes, the make player script.
Oh, yeah, we can just do it inside the constructor. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm. I think you did player. Was it friendly?
I think I changed it to friendly.
Did I already forget? Great, sorry.
No, it's fine. Cool. At a certain point, we're gonna give up doing this. It's just gonna be dots everywhere.
I know, it's fine.
All right, but what we want is okay. So I think we've gotten ourselves back to where we were before, right? So
yeah.
Did the game just crash? It just crashed.
Oh, well, that's interesting. Okay, so is there anything that's still looking for dot enemy?
Oh, you know what? It's not. It's just infinitely looping.
I get the sense that maybe the turret system, it was about to see the player right there, and perhaps something in the shooter script was...
Did we change something here?
I don't think we did.
We didn't. Because it's infinite looping as soon as we get to something. And I think I might have just changed something inadvertently. Or it was just an intermittent parcel thing.
Yeah, maybe parcel is just out of date. That's fine. I accept that.
All right, yes. Oh. Just found a bug.
Oh, yeah, you can get stuck with a key up when you, leave focus.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that was it.
I agree. There's something about that. Yeah, and that's always going to be a concern no matter what. Because, if we even have, pause that we simulate in-game, our input handler is going to have to know how to deal with that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So
pause would be a great idea.
Yeah.
That sounds shockingly hard, actually.
Your parents are calling you for dinner and you can't pause the game. You're like, damn it. This is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It just keeps going.
Dude, it just keeps going. Man, it never ends.
It never ends. Yeah. All right, so we want the turrets to actually be able to target someone that's not on their team.
Mm-hmm.
But they shouldn't target neutrals, right?
I agree. Yeah. I guess, do we filter and do a switch on the current entity's team?
Yeah. That's actually a very nice and easy thing to do there, right?
Mm-hmm. We need to actually get the current entity, though, right?
We need to know their team. You're right.
Yeah. We could do that the line above, yeah. Oh, or that, yeah.
Yeah,
that's even
and then the shooter system needs to pass it in.
Mm. Beautiful. Oh, probably a typo on that.
I think it's just because we have another shooter script.
We probably define shooter script as... Oh, right. So one of them needs to...
Oh, there's an iShooter script. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So this needs to be updated. It's the same way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I assume the player shooter script is going to be a problem for that now.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I'm keeping it alive for now.
I'm going to teach VS Code how to do this right.
Do you think it's possible?
I think if I can't do it, we can abandon
it. And then the shooter script is coming from here, and this one needs it too.
Yep.
And it's probably not used, right?
Probably not, but like maybe you can't shoot friendly turrets. I can see it being used eventually.
I like the idea of friendly fire in this game, but
okay, fair.
But yeah, it's unused for now. Is basically it. Okay. And then this is the player shooter script. We want to get to the turrets, which is this one.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got their team now. We're going to get the targets, and we are going to say that. So you're saying let's switch on.
Wait. Yeah. How does this switch work?
I actually think that what we want is if E is team.neutral.
Mm-hmm.
If E equals team, turn false. Sorry, I'm going to clean this up for sure and then return.
No, that's great. That's very clever.
So what we're really doing is we're returning E does not equal team.neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And E does not equal team, right?
Team. Yep. And is it E or E.team?
It's E.team. And we could even go. Will it blend?
It'll blend.
Okay.
Why isn't it like E or filter?
E has any type. Oh, okay. Yes. This is
oh, not an array. Wait, haven't we filtered this a bunch before?
We haven't. Does this even exist? No, keys exists.
I think it does in future stuff, yeah.
Okay. It's not complaining.
Nope.
It used to complain about this.
About values? Values is future JavaScript. It doesn't exist in the browser. It does exist in ES6 or whatever we're using.
TypeScript used to complain about this one, I feel like.
Oh.
Maybe this is like a new TypeScript thing that we're dealing with right now.
I'm into it.
I'm into it too. There should be a polyfill regardless, right?
That should have been there the whole time.
I agree. Okay, so we are going to get rid of a lot of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
The line of sight, not important. It is important.
Line of sight's
suddenly complicated, right?
Uh-huh.
This whole logic needs to change completely.
Yeah.
Is basically the conclusion that I'm coming to.
Potential hits, but we don't know where to point it. Right.
Maybe what this is this stuff is factored into a separate function.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the first thing to do is to take the targets and map
sort them by distance.
Distance, yeah, and like sort and filter by distance less than range, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. We want to filter them by you need to be in range as well, right?
Yeah, because that'll give us a very similar.
Are you okay if I filter twice? Is that?
I think so. It's more efficient. It's way more efficient, isn't it?
You're right. Probably not, but whatever.
Well, you're about to calculate distance versus doing 2 bool checks on every object, so I think so.
Okay. It looks cooler this way, no matter what, right?
Yeah. No, I think this is less math overall. I hope. You won't calculate the distance of any walls to the.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is that we could like have an early out on this, and then go. We could like if this return false.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. 2 filters is cool.
I like 2 filters.
All right. Okay, so this one might be. It should be relatively easy, right? If it's basically this, right?
Yep. Hmm.
And in fact, actually, it's just this.
Two distance.
And E has to have a transform.
Hmm.
Let's just be super laborious about it. Is it null or let's just do not. Yeah, that'll catch our undefines, right?
Wait, is that going to return things that do have transforms?
Filter says return. It'll only keep things where the predicate returns true.
Mm-hmm. Not e.transform. Oh, so if there's no transform.
Oh, you're right. It's not.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Bang, bang. Yeah. Yep.
And that means that this is less than or equal to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is. We'll do it prettier. You're going to complain to me. Just do it. Right. Okay, so I think we've got our targets in range, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what we need to do is we also need to remove targets where there is an intervening friendly between. Right?
We need to sort targets by distance. Filter and sort. And then line of sight is just line of sight to closest target.
It is, but I think we need to go to the next target if there's something friendly obscuring line of sight, right?
Oh, yeah, that's great though. That's really cool because
because then we just reuse this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ish, I think. Okay, what we do here when we sort these is we calculate the distance again, and this time it's a dot transform dot position.
Yep.
Minus.
I think so.
Void.
What? Oh, we don't return. You've got the curlies.
The curlies. The seasoned curlies. Okay, so far so good.
Into it.
And then, real quick, I would like to. What do I want to do? I want to test this, but it's not easy to test right now.
Yeah, No, it's not. Well, can we place? Let's see. What if we took away the rest of the shooter script, commented it out? Because I think we're about to make a loop. Can we do something with debug draw and targets? Do you want to see what the targets are?
I would like to see what the targets are.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's so much of this. Holy cow.
Yeah, there's a lot of code. And I just replaced it with the division sign. That's
how do you even type that?
I think it's Alt /. I meant to do Command /.
That's not even on my keyboard.
And this is just complaining about stuff.
It's very, very upset. Yeah.
It's just, oh my god! It's enraged. How dare you, sir? How dare you? So you were saying let's debug draw, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Debug draw a box for every turret, for every target.
Can I do 4 in?
I think so.
What I want is a 4 each. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can map or the targets, right?
Yep. Yeah, you should just do that.
Just to be gorgeous. That's the target. And what I want to render is a line.
We probably got that code down at the bottom of this one.
Yeah. what do they call it? Primitive?
Primitive. There you go. Yeah.
Um,
Hmm. T.transform, yeah. And probably a stroke color? Stroke style?
from
Width.
to width.
With.
That's probably a property we're never going to use. And
No.
it is angry.
Primitive. Oh, it's not type, it's primitive.
Oh. Sweet.
A.
So if we debug draw now, not in VS Code, but in the game,
Uh-huh.
we have a target. I think the next level is going to be a lot more interesting, right?
Should be... Okay, you're in range. Great. Yep, so that looks familiar. Now, what if you place a friendly turret?
We haven't created friendly turrets yet, but let us do it. This is the whole point of what we were doing before.
I forgot. No friendly. Yeah. So now we should be able to see 2 lines, which will be great.
Equals team friendly. I'm on team friendly. Are you on team friendly?
I'm on team friendly. Hey, that imported correctly.
Yeah.
What's up?
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. So I'm going to stick an enemy turret there. Oh, and yes.
Cool.
Okay. We don't have a notion of ranking yet, but I'm just going to assume that the sword is working. Or we can increase the
Width.
alpha.
Width.
Oh, we can increase the width. How much width do we want? Is
One
there floating
pixel.
point width? Is there such a thing?
Probably. I think just give it a +1 every loop.
All right. How do we do that?
It's actually harder than it looks.
I think we do. I think we have to do the horrible thing. We do like let width equal 1.
Mm-hmm.
I need to have. Is it not?
Oh, it didn't give you a curly there for some reason. Because of that.
Oh, it's because.
Yeah.
I'm doing control backspace because that's where the function key is on the chiplet keyboard.
You could do width plus here.
Oh, you're getting into like super C programming here. I can't handle it.
You got to modify the value as you return it. It's the only way.
Oh man, old school C programmers, they love that shit, and they like write books about how it's great style. Right? What am I doing wrong here? Just gonna brute force it.
That looks right. What's wrong with that? Targets. Oh, comma? Why is there a comma?
Because when I didn't have the curly brace, it insists on putting.
There we go.
Right. Uno. Wait, why is that so thick?
It's 2. It's the priority. The thinnest one is the first priority. Because we sorted by distance. Yeah.
Oh, because they're overlapping each other.
What?
Well, why is this one?
No, check it out. It changes as you move around. Maybe I'm not seeing it because of the resolution. It's something...
Yeah, like this line here looks too thick to me.
That should be width 2. That looks thinner than this line to me.
Why is this width 2?
Because this is the top priority. Priority 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I see. Because we are drawing. I see now. There is a line here Wait, we're only drawing for who?
We're right for everyone, so there is a converse line, but it should be exactly the same line. It shouldn't double up.
Oh, I see
This-
what you're saying. There's a
this-
there's a converse line for these two but they're all going to be the same length, the same width, right? So this is. Oh, you're right, and it shouldn't double up because they're going to be the exact same line.
Yeah, it's like the same point to point. That looks correct to me because if you get really close, the other line should get really thin. Like if you walk up to the enemy turret. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. That looks awesome.
it looks
And
confusing,
instead-
but I'm glad we have it.
I will do this. Oh, I'm a disaster.
I see what's happening here. Yeah. Cool.
But I screwed something up because I got rid of the let. Oh no, wait, there's no let there.
Nope.
That was fine. It was just TypeScript lag.
Okay, so now,
We didn't complain to Tuple yet, did we, about the performance problems?
no, is your computer just dying? Is my computer,
There
is my
should be
computer
one that's like
plugged in?
totally out of range, right? Like this one, it's not even have any lines to it.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah, you're
can
gonna
take
have
first place like this, right?
Mhm.
Like, you can't really see the line at that point, but yeah, cool. I think we wrote some good code.
I like that. That's really cool.
Well, we wrote some okay code.
I like how the other lines are getting thicker and thicker as you add more targets, so I'm into it.
Yeah.
Neat.
Okay. I don't know how badly we want to keep this. It's going to look really messy, but
If it was like alpha gray 0.1 or something, if it was just like a little spider web fanning out, I'd be into it.
I see what you're saying.
Otherwise, I agree. Let's toss it.
So you're saying RGBA.
hmm
Uh,
What's our path dots? What are they drawn as?
pilot system debug. This.
Yeah. Could potentially be even thinner, but that's great. Or even lighter, that is.
Lighter by alpha, or lighter by color. It's
By
kind of
alpha,
ambiguous.
like, sorry, more transparent, like 0.25?
Yeah. It's gonna say 0.2.
Okay. Yeah, just like a less in your face, but it is useful.
Can you make dotted lines? You must be able to, right? Gosh, doing this all in Canvas with like Canvas like drawing primitives must be so expensive.
You mean just for the computer? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, like all of this stuff should be either sprites, or if we get to the point of doing sprites, we'll just switch to 3D.
Yep.
Because I have to imagine that like drawing everything as like circles and squares and things is like quite expensive.
Huh.
But this is cool. I'm fucking with the lines here. I love it. This looks almost Edward Tufte like. You ever have any? Do you have any Tufte books?
Oh man, I don't, but we had some at the office, a chain. You're totally correct.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool.
But now I think we need to filter by whether it's direct line of sight, right?
Yes, and I think actually it's just take most of the half the remaining code and loop it till you find a target.
Should we do line of sight? Should we filter by line of sight? Or is it more that we just want to stop at the first one that has line of sight?
We want to take the first one that has line of sight, and I'm not sure we could filter by it that easily. It seems easier to take the first one, yeah.
Is there such a thing? There is. Of targets Oh, and this
What?
is first. This is like the first element.
Oh,
I want first matching a particular criterion, which Ruby has, because Ruby is amazing. But
is this not the output of like JavaScript array.find?
oh, you're absolutely right. It is
Yeah.
just find, right?
It's just because find returns the first one sorted.
Dang, or else it returns probably null, right, or undefined.
I bet so.
So what you're saying is that we just find,
Digging it.
and then we have this line of sight business here.
Hmm. But there you go. That stuff, yeah. That stuff. It's not cheap.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. How do we? There are lots of ways I can think of like making this super optimal, right? Like we can first of all get all of the potential entities that you would ever consider,
Right.
whether
So
they are neutral or enemy, and sort those in a list. You know?
I was gonna say our filter by distance actually would be if we took that list as potentials first and had like everything in range. Here's our search space.
Yeah.
That's actually like not a bad start.
Yeah, and instead of mapping over it, I would maybe even consider just like storing the indices as well.
The indices? Sorry.
The indices, like the index within the entities array.
Oh.
But yeah, the reason why I kind of don't care right now. I don't care about the optimal.
Great.
Like I'm okay just doing the n squared stuff. But you're right.
Cool.
Basically, the idea here is that find, we'd have an index with this, right? And then we would iterate over other entities whose index is less than my index, right? Because they would definitely be in between. That's actually not too bad though, right?
No, it's because we've got most of the filters here already. So
what are we actually looking at? We're looking at const shootables, right? Or like, it's not even shootables. It's things that would obstruct the shot, which are shootable, right? Like basically.
The wall is shootable, yeah. And so are enemy turrets. Yeah. And then it's this filter.
We want the things in range.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And they need to be shootable, so they need to be damageable, right? That's basically what we did here, right?
Yep.
And they can't be yourself.
And not yourself. Great.
I
like this is a much better factor of this method already.
And not e.damageable?
No, yes, e.damageable, right? Oh, sorry. Yeah, has to have a transform, has to have a damageable. Correct.
And e.id not equals my ID, right?
Uh-huh. Boom.
Entity ID, sorry.
Cool.
Okay, so those are all the shootables, right?
Yeah, and then targets is shootables filtered by team. Just delete.
When we do targets, we want to retain the index that they had within shootables.
Ah, I see what you're doing.
Like a rank, right? Or like a distance rank.
Should we sort this then? Should we also apply the sort to shootables?
We should absolutely sort them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and this will save us some amount of pain here.
So then targets isn't a filter, it's a map of if you're on the opposite team, return entity, otherwise return null. It's a copy.
Yeah, or we could do the find right now. Like we could do const target equals shootables dot find of the target, and then this is like rank. I'm just gonna call it like n. What is the? Oh, this is the predicate, which takes this void. What? Oh, this is the this here just?
What?
Are they doing Python on us right now?
I think so.
Okay.
Because the callback is the element index.
Yeah.
And array is the third object. That's so weird.
Oh, you know why? It's because we could stack find on the end here.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to do that. I mean,
I kind of want to hold on to shootables. I feel like that's something we might want.
well, we're going to need it inside of this function here for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first of all, if target.team then we're done. We haven't found anything, right?
Yes, correct.
Is this candidate?
Yeah.
And then this we don't need anymore. This is no longer useful. And then now what we say is we look for this is all the stuff that is closer to the shooter than the candidate is. And if it's in the way,
false.
It's false.
Yeah.
So what do we do for line of sight here?
Segment to AABB intersection.
This here.
Yep. Which actually
and debug draw probably doesn't make any more sense, right?
Not anymore. Yeah. I think this line of sight goes outside the for because we use it every loop.
But it is the line of sight to the entity at I, right?
Oh, I thought this was the line of sight to candidate.
Oh, it is the line of sight to candidate. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. Yeah, because we do this and do a AABB intersection with the line of sight and every entity's AABB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just really want this, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly.
If this line of sight and then other is actually shootables
I.
Uh-huh. And then if it's there, we return false, right?
Yep. And if we make it out, return true, yeah. Nice.
Why is this complaining? Object
could be out of bounds? No. I guess we don't know that n is less than... n is a number. N is not necessarily less than
Does it
length.
not know that this is there?
Oh, is that it? Never mind.
Yeah.
Cool. TypeScript's smarter than me.
Okay, and then that's the target, right? And then what do we do with the target? We should debug draw the target, right?
Yeah, and I think we do. If there's a target.
That's this one?
Yep.
I'm going to get rid of all this code.
It's gone.
We no longer need you. Thank you for service.
Ooh, this got so much better.
From the targets transform, or to the targets transform.
So we're going to lose. We had that line that was like, aim at the target, but also... Yeah, I'm okay losing that, because...
You can draw it here, if you want to.
It's just there's going to be a lot of things that block you. It's not always clear.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
You only want to draw the first one, right? Is basically the idea. Yeah.
Or-
Okay. So I'm okay losing this one too.
it doesn't make as much sense anymore.
And target is possibly undefined. So basically, like if not target. Sorry. Still getting used to the arrow keys.
Oh, I feel ya. It took me like 2 weeks to get used to this keyboard.
Yeah.
Nice.
And yours like lights up too, right?
I know. It's really extremely distracting to the fingers.
I'm just gonna see if does that work?
Hi. Don't call it shootables. Maybe that might be a shadow definition.
No, I see what you're saying. You know what? I don't want to be too cute.
Okay.
It is what JavaScript gives us, but I just want a new line here. There's just like a lot of code contiguous here.
Mhm.
Okay. If there's no target, then we're done. We're gonna draw the line to the target. This still matters.
Mhm.
Um,
It's funny
something's in the
that
way.
nope,
We
already
don't
did
care
it.
about that anymore.
Correct.
Otherwise, we reset the cooldown, right?
Uh-huh.
Because we're about to shoot, and then
Uh-huh.
shoot,
Uh-huh.
and I think all this is good, right?
Yeah. So I think I found a bug.
Yes.
What is setting the transform orientation? It's aiming at the player, unfortunately.
Did we have player here before?
I believe it's in the turret motion script. It's a different system.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm okay with. I think we can sort this out. What does the turret motion script look like? Does it have it has like a destination orientation, right? No.
Rotate until.
There we go. Yeah.
So the shooter script needs to.
It needs to give something a target. That isn't the player.
It's almost like we need a turret system that does the turret targeting.
That's probably true. Let's see.
I almost want to pull. Like, I actually am okay making just a turret system that does all three things. It does the targeting, the moving, and the shooting all in one thing.
Okay.
Because the fact that these are scripts, I went on that long tirade over Slack about how this is an anti-pattern. Right?
Yep. Yeah, totally. I'm okay with that because the player. Yeah, wait. Does the player shooter script what aims the player's turret? It's a system, right?
It's a totally separate thing. It's like keyboard input, right?
Mouse, but yeah.
Yes. Mouse and keyboard, yeah.
Huh.
And so this is like it really shares nothing with the turret's shooting except that it updates roughly around the same time, right?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Thank you for pointing that out. We now have a turret system.
Beautiful.
What did we...
What's in the shooter system right now? Sorry.
It's super simplistic.
Great.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Which again, this is a smell for a system.
Smell for a system. Okay, yeah. Great.
All right. So if I wanted to make a system like this, I think this is all I need, though. I can copy this. And what we want to know is whether it's a turret or not, right? So that's a new entity thing. It's got a pilot component. That's basically what it's going to be, right?
Okay, yeah. I feel like the bulls go higher up in the setup for that.
Oh,
But
do
yeah,
they? Okay.
we at least have a yeah.
We got flags and other properties, that sort of thing, right? And so this is fine, although the team seems like it goes last. It is a
actual value.
It's a bird of a different feather here.
Okay,
and
so
then-
make turret, yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. I'm a turret and I'm a wall. It's true.
It's
These
true.
are all really cool, interesting, true things to say about this entity, right? The ordering of this is very strange.
Why?
In fact, why did we do that?
Do we call into transform somewhere else here?
No,
No.
That seems like a random legacy.
I bet we had. Yeah, I bet we're using transform somewhere.
And
That's
then you
fine.
don't have a shooter script anymore, right? That's gone.
Ah, yikes! Goodbye.
And no motion script either.
Okay, you're killing it. Okay.
Okay, so now what we do is in the turret system. Let's actually make sure that the turret system will get updated. So what do we do here?
Game.
Yes, I am looking for this.
Ah.
In the game. This is great.
I think
The
it goes.
game is
Yeah,
running.
right there.
This is great. So when the pilot creates a turret, that turret will update right away.
Nice. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's just a thing. Like,
I'm in okay with that thing.
and if E is not a turret, we continue. Right? And now we pile in a bunch of shit here. So I think actually our targeting can go first, right?
Just drop it right in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think this is all going to be in a loop, right? Over all of the turrets. So. Oh, we are in a loop. Sorry. What? I'm just repeating myself. And basically,
that all looks good so far. Cooldown?
Yes, I'm gonna cool down. Let's copy it all. Well, because basically in between here and the rest of the stuff is gonna be our motions things, right? So let me leave that there, and I'm gonna go ahead and this should be a continue. And all of these transforms here. I cannot rename this element. Come on, bro.
Maybe can we define? Can you do const transform equals e dot transform, and then you'll be able to rename that variable? Maybe no. You'll still have to. We can just unbreak it faster, maybe.
I mean, we could just actually.
That's what I mean. Yeah, just assign it, and then the code will work. Bang. E dot transform bang. Yeah.
Oh, that's what. I thought you meant bang. It worked.
Oh no, sorry.
And then our E is now shadowed. I think we need to do something else here. This is like maybe. let me rename this one
Yep.
for now. This is going to be gross.
That's fine though. But then it becomes turret.id further down. I'm into it.
I don't know if I want that permanently, but I think actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this.
Now that you've unshadowed it, yeah. Uh-huh. Is there another one? Candidate. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, come on, back to and now this can go back to being E.
Great.
And I'm less scared of it now, and this is E.ID.
Uh-huh.
Team is E.team.
Uh-huh.
This is just utility function.
Mm-hmm.
This is just a thing.
Okay.
Right. DT is never used, but we will use it in a second, right?
We will use DT, yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right. So this is one. Find a target.
Great.
Right.
Digging it. Yeah.
The motion script here is just this.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, this is gonna work.
This ain't bad. Turret rot
player-
speed came from. Oh yeah. Target.
So
Nice. All for that one
turret
line.
rotation speed is this.
Oh, you're in the wrong.
Yo.
Too many systems. Yeah.
Too many files.
Let's put the range up there too while we're doing this, because
I agree with you.
yeah.
Range.
Okay, looking good. Looking good.
So far,
Okay,
so
so wait a minute. So if we run it now,
transform is E.transform, right?
Hmm.
We can now rename this.
ah,
Oh, but it needs to be transform bang.
wait, undo
Whatever.
it. Yeah.
I'm gonna suffer through it.
At least it's red. One more. 3 more.
I should have renamed it to E.transform bang.
I was about to say undo it and just put the exclamation point on there.
That would have been too
Okay,
smart.
so if we run the game now, we should see our turret aim. It's amazing the game still works. So it aims at us. That's cool. Oh man, really interesting consequence. It stops aiming at us when it can't see us. That's totally new.
Oh,
Because it was so focused on the player and the motion script before. I like it.
do you prefer that when there's
I
no
do.
more line of sight?
I actually do, yeah.
That is really interesting. Let's make it more interesting. Let's go to the next level. Let's take it to the next level.
Okay.
So these guys aren't aiming at all.
Does look kind of dead. But
But realistic though, right? It feels stealthier,
Yeah.
right?
yeah. I like that you could sneak up on something and it can't aim at you yet.
That's interesting mechanically, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a choice, and we could resolve it by aiming at targets.
That are out of
0.
range.
We could aim at the first target we see. If we.
Yeah, the range thing here is interesting. They should be able to aim at me even if I'm not in range, because they're not moving right now, right? They're like, no, I refuse, because
Mm-hmm. Well, but what is range, right? Like we could, if we gave the game a little fog of war, it would probably not look so weird. You can see
Yeah.
too much.
sure, okay. So we'll leave it like this for now.
Yeah.
That is a tweak that we know we're losing, right?
Yeah,
Now we're
and
gonna-
we could fix it if we needed to.
Now we are going to shoot, which I believe is just this stuff.
Uh huh. And one missing curly brace on the end.
I'm sorry. On the end here.
The very, very last. Thought so. Maybe not. What is cooldown TTL, and how do we set that?
I think the turret needs to be component, but it needs to have the state.
Okay. What has that state right now? Is it the shooter script?
The shooter script, yeah. But it's specific to the way the turrets work, right? This is state that the turret cares about.
Does the player doesn't have a cooldown? It's just as fast as you hit the mouse button. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So how do I represent this? What did we do with pilot? Did we just have a pilot component? Yeah, we did. So, in fact, let's copy all this. It's a little confusing that we have a component called turret in an entity called turret, but entities don't exist. I shouldn't be too upset about this.
Entities don't exist. Yeah. All right. Honestly, that's pretty chill.
I think it's cool. Yeah, and then basically now what we got to do is that the turret
comes a turret, just like pilot.
Yeah.
I've noticed we've been able to get away from our interfaces, and I'm thrilled.
Yeah, it's been not too bad, right? And then this can go. This turret thing goes away. When we make a turret, we did it auto import? Did it potentially? It did.
Nice. Just badly.
Why are you bad?
I think the entity will also need that. Why is that not the... Oh, yeah, okay.
You're saying the entity will need that?
Entity.ts just needs that same import copy-pasted into it.
Oh. Should have taken your advice.
I'm trying. Oh God, that sorted it very funnily.
No, it's just because I mistyped it again. Like I do. Probably Mac people don't do this, but I do delete a lot. I do this.
I do actually. FN backspace.
Yes, and I've been trying to do that, but my muscle memory is whatever's the lower left button.
Ooh, yeah.
And backspace, and that is control for me right now.
Yeah. Yep.
In fact, the keyboard that I use right now, it's great. I actually really like it. It's one of those split keyboards that has like two.
They're really cool.
They're nice, and I'm actually really enjoying it. But the function key is very interesting. It is actually the most lower left key, but there's actually this bank of keys to the left of like the regular key set. So it almost has like this. It doesn't have like the numpad on the right. It has this like extra bank of keys on the left. And
weird.
The function key is one of those. And on top of that, it is a lock key, like caps lock or numlock. So like you tap it once and it's on all the time. And it actually does not do Mac function whatsoever. It's actually just whatever the keyboard's like other layer is, basically, if that makes sense.
I hate that. Yeah, I've got one like that.
I just saw something I want to clean up just while I'm here. The drive-by. Don't you love PRs that just have like a bunch of like drive-by random changes?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't like that. Oh, it's because it's not.
Boom.
All right, let's continue forward. The turret now has some state to it, right?
So wait, let's test it out. Or no, wait, we haven't updated it yet, have we?
Yeah. So instead of this cooldown TTL, it's like
this .turret.
Turret, bang.
Yeah.
And the cooldown period was in the shooter script. Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
This is E dot. That is E dot. We're just going to import this.
Huh?
I think we need a bang on these.
Hmm.
Make bullet. We're also going to import the bullet position. This is E dot. Transform bang.
Oh boy, it's getting close.
Particle emitter as well.
Huh?
E dot transform blam. That's pretty good. And then these two things, I'm just going to delete.
Gone. Ah!
What the hell just happened?
Why did it do that?
I don't know. I think it just moved to the next file that was in the next tab along, and then it moved the file browser along as well.
Boo.
And
I noticed.
What are you finding about here?
Ah, that's it. Yeah.
All right. So we are now.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. So far, it shoots.
Okay. Now.
This is a big test here. Oh my god. So it works. And
I turn on the. Oop.
Oh, he
shit.
dies.
Whew.
This is going to happen every single time, right? Because they're going to... Maybe that turret should be oriented the way... Should it, like, auto-aim when it's born? Because it's going to be facing upwards every time, right?
Yeah.
So this will be really effective right here. Surprise!
I can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
Although it didn't really work. It was like...
It was shooting through it. Boo.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can... I don't know. I can go this way. Oh, I killed him. And I believe it crashed.
Game? Anything in the console? What did that? If you stop it, do you still get console output? Probably not.
I don't think so.
Dang.
Yeah, it's funny. My cursor disappears when it goes into the browser window.
Whoops.
What do we do?
Huh.
Last time this happened, it was just like a random thing, but I don't
That was twice.
Yeah. We try to repro.
Okay.
It's this guy I was trying to kill, right?
I think so. Oh, hello. Okay. Okay, so could our turret system have an infinite loop?
It is possible.
Because that's what changed. What's going on at the very top? We're filtering by turret. We're looking at every entity. We're taking turrets. That should be okay. Get our target.
When we kind of look for loops, right?
Yeah. It should just hit every entity once.
Should be fine. Yeah.
Huh. Do you want to try it again with the console running?
We could, although I suspect that what's going to happen is we're not going to see anything, right?
Yeah, it's not an exception. It's stuck on something. Though,
well, I guess we can see if there's anything that spits out to console. We're not really logging anything right now.
Yeah. It's a long shot. And so what could be going wrong here? It's looking for entities. It looks at every entity in range.
Yeah. Then as soon as I right click there.
It's when you right click.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Did we change anything in the pilot system?
Oops.
Uh,
I wish I knew how far into execution we were. Right.
mhm. Well, I mean, it hasn't left. We don't see the pilot, so I feel like it's on the pathfinding somehow.
We don't see the pilot yet.
Ah, is there ever a situation where
pathfinding bug? What if I right click in the wall? What happens there? That's not
question.
something we've ever tried, right?
Oh, because you're right.
Okay, that's what it is.
Ah, okay. Oh, the wall is still there. It's looking at the map.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so that's just something that we know about. That's a bug. We don't
That's
necessarily have to fix it now. We just know about it. Yep.
Yeah, I thought you were shooting the wall, and as soon as you shot it, it crashed. But I didn't realize you were right clicking so fast. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we found a pathfinding bug. This is not an issue with the thing that we just wrote, which makes sense because it doesn't look like we have any kind of like anything that could infinitely loop, right?
Nope.
And so I can actually do the thing that I want to do. I just have to make sure I stay in the water, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm a
Beautiful
sneaky bastard.
It's really hard to tell if the enemy even has time to aim at our turret. So it aims at us, and then it aims the wrong way.
That is interesting.
Is it doing? We're rotating until. Is it about to make a full circle the other direction to get there?
That is possible.
Can we do this with debug draw on again?
Oh yeah, we can.
Or let's try the fourth one.
Oh, I can kill my own turret here. That's cool. Oh, sorry, I hit the right mouse button by accident.
That's okay. Well, I think we can.
Treacherous bug.
I think we can reproduce this on the current level, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, debug draw. What's it aiming at? Huh.
It didn't seem like it was aiming at anything, right?
I think the lines were overlapping.
Right.
Because it kept shooting. It was like shooting off in the arc, but the arc was taking some strange choices.
Yeah.
What's rotate intel doing? Normalize angle. I thought we did that right. We already solved this for turrets.
Yeah, because we don't see that weird snapping when the player gets into range, right?
No. Well, let's try it again because it'll stop. We'll see it.
So debug draw on first.
Mm-hmm.
There's a targeting line.
Maybe you need to blow up all the walls to actually see it happen.
Collect all the pickups too.
You gotta get the pickups.
That is weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, to be figured out. I bet it's something small.
Yeah. Well, what is the actual math here, right? From and to our orientations.
I think so. Should be.
Where did this? After
Turret
return.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have picked our target.
Uh-huh.
And then what we do is we say that we do get angle. Okay, so whatever the current orientation is, what should be facing straight up, so it should be 0, right? We said that 0 is north. And then we get the angle between so I do actually wonder what this is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's our function 2, right? Or is that vec2?
No,
is there a vec2
we
angle?
created this. We created the function. So we create the vector, and to and from, in this case, it is from the shooter to the target. So this should definitely be an arrow. It would be nice if we had debug draw with arrowheads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be neat?
That'd be pretty cool. Why? Huh. Interesting. I'm confused. This has worked really well so far.
Yeah, we've always been only shooting at the player, though. And if you make a sudden jump to a different target that is directly below you...
Still has the same problem. Yeah. Well, if in the entity manager, or sorry, in the turret system,
yeah,
if we log the current orientation and the rotate and tilt orientation,
yeah,
well, at least the first log from that should be very useful to see what it's starting and trying to go to.
First log maybe when the target changes, perhaps.
Yeah, well, it won't even log if there's no target. So as soon as target is visible.
Yeah, but the first target will be us, right? As soon as you're
true.
But we can try it.
That's so weird though, because like if you're directly below and the thing is directly below, it should be the exact same target angle.
Yeah, what exactly happened here? When I shot this, it started to turn towards me.
Now put that there.
And it turns the other way.
Yeah.
I don't know how clearly you can see that, but...
It was very clear, yeah. This has been looking funny so far.
Yeah, the target angle should be identical, right?
I mean, maybe not identical because the turret is perfectly aligned and you probably aren't.
Right.
Like, we're on an edge case, basically, like the...
Yes, the turret's vector should have a 0x component to it, right? That this offset has a 0x component. We find the sign of...
Because the...
Oh, this is a strange... Yeah, because... I mean, this obviously makes sense, right? Because if there's no x component, the sign of 0 is like arbitrary, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's weird because it starts turning, and then like the angle should not be 0. It shouldn't be that perfect thing. It's weird that it is.
Should this instead be? It's like, to get the angle here, probably what we want to do is like, there's either going to be like a really big like rotation or the complement of that with the opposite sign. And maybe it should be like the minimum absolute value. It should be whichever one has the minimum absolute value. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Because this doesn't make any sense if the offset is 0. This is a very interesting bug that we kind of randomly stumbled upon.
Right. It requires perfection. So interesting.
Yeah. And we
Okay.
didn't introduce perfection until we introduced a turret.
A tile aligned turret. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
So what is this whole thing? This is the angle between.
We're getting right. We're just ending up with the bigger chunk of a clock, and we want yeah.
I mean, but we're normalizing it, right?
Yeah. So if the angle is 2 pi,
This is not quite what we want, right? What we want is
I think that's where the absolute value should be done, right?
yeah, the absolute value should be here, right?
Yes.
So it's almost as if the absolute value of this thing is greater than pi,
Mm-hmm.
we want the complement of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I need to kind of work this out. I'm going to be really dumb about
No,
this.
I think we got it. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Then what we want. All right, this is actually just too confusing if I do absolute value. So if I just do if this is greater than math.pi, what we want is
We're writing the same function.
yeah, are we?
I like absolute value. I think that makes sense. If the absolute value is greater than pi.
No, I actually think this is what I was going for. I think we are just normalizing.
Yeah. Do we just need to toss the sign?
I think we return. Well, do we when we call get angle, we don't normalize that, right?
Oh. Is that the problem?
I think so, because like in the turret system, we call get angle,
Oh.
and then
But doesn't
we don't normalize
rotate
the
until
input.
normalize.
Yeah, we normalize the difference between them,
Oh, should we normalize the input?
both of them.
It's weird that we normalize this twice, too.
I think this is correct, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one up here should just.
Okay, do we still aim at the player?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right. Here's the litmus test.
Don't put it on the wall.
Oh wait, I needed to go. I needed to put that faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That-
It kept.
That's much better.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I think this actually makes sense. There's no reason why you should be able to put in like 82 pi for these numbers, right? Like you really kind of want to.
Yep. Okay, yeah, I'm into it.
Yep.
Huh.
This actually reminds me a little bit of vector math. Like anytime you see like 3D math, you're just like normalizing all your vectors all the time, every operation. Otherwise, you accumulate error, right?
Yep. Right.
Well, cool.
Yeah,
that was a pretty sweet random bug fix that we kind of threw in there.
Yeah. This looks great. There's one last thing we could do, and it's make the friendly turrets a different color.
Ooh.
Can we do it entirely in the renderable?
The renderable doesn't know about team affiliation.
Doesn't the turret renderable does it not get its entity? That's too bad.
What am I
It's just
looking for? I'm looking for
turret renderable is the
index.
component.
I mean, we could pass it in here, right?
Could pass E, yeah.
Or the team here.
The team changes after constructor,
It does.
so we could pass E.
into the renderable system. Because the
What is-
renderable. Oh,
what
I
is-
see
what
what
is
you're
turret
saying.
renderable?
Just pass a pointer to the.
Yeah. Then turrets could change colors as much as you wanted. You could take a turret over and just flip the team.
That is true. I'm trying not to have pointers, but I mean, I think we can see that that also is a little bit awkward as well.
Yeah. Does it? Do any of our other systems do that? What does the player renderable take? Because I thought that took
Well,
some strange input.
One of the things that we do some strange things. There's a pre-render, right? That we use. What do we use the pre-render for again?
Rando script.
We've already used this for something. Like, oh yeah, it's the wall, right? The wall changes colors based on its damage.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I maybe I'll repeat this pattern. I'm not sure how much I like it,
Great.
but it's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it implements? Extends? Implements.
Oh gosh, implements.
Ah. Sorry. New keyboard.
No, you good.
And then what was it? The wall? The wall's
The wall. Mm-hmm.
Just gonna copy this whole thing.
Turret affiliation, yeah, or pre-render.
That's the turret. And then what do we do?
Color is just a team dot friendly is blue, team dot enemy is red.
Yes, but what do we actually call it? The base?
Yeah, I think the base.
And then what is this render? What is the turret renderable actually? Right? We need to actually set. Oh, we do have a set fill style here.
Huh. Ah, because you have to have it apparently.
And then we're doing the body as that, right?
Yeah, let's do that. Cool. And then just the constructor needs it.
Mm-hmm. So it'll start off as red. Is that the idea, or?
Yeah, I like that.
That's the default.
It's interesting. It just drew it as gray accidentally. It could be nothing because the pre-render will set it no matter what.
You're saying like this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so we want the pre-renderer to actually figure that out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Set fill style. I wish there was a way I could use switch and not have to declare a let variable above. That's annoying.
You want that sweet Ruby block assignment.
I do.
So do I. Every time. You just gotta write it twice?
Watch me just do it twice, yeah. What's the team? Team dot friendly.
Mm-hmm.
What is that, blue?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. do it. I love it. Why, the fuck?
Oh, I don't have case statements.
Ah, there you go.
It's interesting that it didn't.
We didn't give the turret a pre-render script.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dude. That's sick.
Oh, you're going the wrong way. That's a bug.
What did it aim at? It didn't even aim at the right thing.
No, it is aiming at. It's trying to get there, but it's turning the wrong direction.
No, it stops. It stops. That's wild.
Interesting. Well,
Huh.
there's the thing to hammer out off stream, I'd say.
Uh-huh. Yeah, some of that angle isn't quite right, because actually it looks like it's off by pi.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, so our math is bad.
Uh-huh. That's okay.
I bet we can see that. Oh,
Whoa,
interesting. Yeah, I think our whole rotate until is broken. It works until I get to...
Well, so not rotate until, because that's normalized angle for the player, because we don't rotate until. So that's what it is.
So,
okay.
So it's basically this...
Wait, Jeff, bring back the math.sign that you took out, because I bet that's the fix. It was offset 0 times, yeah. See if our player works correctly now.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of mysterious that like didn't have like a...
An effect, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
that looks great.
Better.
Beautiful.
It still seems as if this is wrong. I guess when it's 180 degrees, it just picks something arbitrary, right? I think 0 is positive by convention.
Well, to try the perfect one again to see if we busted that. That'll be the last test.
What do you mean by oh yes? So
yeah, do 180.
Yeah, I'm almost sure we didn't break it.
I think so too, because I think normalizing everything.
Oh no,
nope.
it broke. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just picking something arbitrary, right?
Well, perhaps
normalizing it should have fixed it, right? All right. That's okay. This is I think, classically difficult problem to work out in your head. Maybe we can draw it on paper and really figure it out step by step.
Sounds good. This is dope. So, love it. Cool, dude. Well, happy streaming.
And next stream maybe Friday. Is that still open for you?
I got Friday free. Yeah, you got Friday free?
I think I got Friday free. All right, so Friday instead of Sunday is the deal.
Yep, had that penciled in.
Okay, that's fantastic. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to touch this until Friday, so probably the next thing we do is like do this math, or we don't worry about it and work on something else. I
might just not worry about it. It's only one specific case. We can make a GitHub issue.
True. Maybe we are at a point that maybe we need to start actually tracking problems.
Tracking, yeah.
I was also thinking testing as well, but like, God, it's always such a hard problem to solve. It's like how to write effective tests.
Yeah, I like how functional our stuff has become, such that I feel like we could, but yeah, I don't want to write too many tests for this thing yet. I feel like we keep refactoring it.
Okay, that is true. Okie doke. Well, until Friday then.
All right. See you later.